Mr. Calder walked into a classroom and immediately felt out of place. You could sense it before a word was spoken, like something fragile had wandered somewhere it didn't belong. That was exactly how it felt the morning Mr. Calder stepped into the 6th grade classroom. He paused in the doorway, gripping an old leather briefcase, as if giving himself one last chance to turn around and leave. His suit was wrinkled and a size too big, his tie pulled tight like it was choking him, and his face was flushed deep red. His right hand shook constantly at his side, twitching in small, nervous bursts. Even before he reached the chalkboard, white dust clung to his thinning hair. When he tried to speak, the room went quiet, but not out of respect. It was the kind of quiet that comes before something cruel. Good morning, CL class, he said. The sentence never finished. Laughter bubbled up, not loud yet, just enough to test him. Anyone watching could tell immediately that this man was unprepared for what he had walked into. 6th graders can sense weakness the way animals sense fear. Once it's noticed, it spreads fast. Have you ever seen how quickly a crowd can turn when someone stumbles? The principal should have warned him. This class wasn't gentle. It wasn't patient. And once the first crack appeared, the pressure began. The early jokes were small. Papers whispered away when he turned his back. Chalk disappeared from the tray. Someone coughed loudly every time he stuttered. Mr. Calder tried to ignore it. He smiled too often, apologized too much, and kept teaching as if effort alone could fix everything. That only made it worse. One afternoon, during a lesson about time, he asked the class to count aloud while he drew a clock on the chalkboard. The room echoed with numbers as he carefully wrote each one in place. 1, 2, 3, the counting grew louder, faster, feeding on itself. 8, 9, 10, some students leaned forward, already smiling. 11, 12, then, together, clear and sharp, the class shouted, 13. Without hesitation, Mr. Calder wrote it. Thick white chalk scraped across the board, placing the impossible number right where it didn't belong. The laughter exploded instantly. His ears burned red as he froze, staring at the mistake. He erased it quickly, stammering an apology, but his shaking hand dropped the eraser. It bounced off his pant leg, leaving a pale chalk mark behind. The laughter doubled. He tried to brush it away, forgetting the eraser was still in his hand. Chalk smeared down the fabric, turning his entire pant leg white. Students howled. Some slid out of their chairs. That was the first moment anyone felt something close to pity. But pity was quieter than laughter, and it didn't stop anything. Would you have laughed too, or would you have looked away? 2 students pushed harder than the rest. Ethan Crow was loud, fearless, always chasing attention. Logan Pierce was quieter, sharper, and far more dangerous. Logan liked watching people fall apart. The next incident came during a simple math question. Mr. Calder asked for the answer to 9 times 5. Logan raised his hand and silently mouthed the words, his lips moving without sound. I see can't H here why you, Mr. Calder said, stepping closer. Logan mouthed it again, pretending confusion. Please, speak up. Logan waited until Mr. Calder was inches away, then shouted, 45. The sound sent Mr. Calder stumbling backward. He tripped over a desk and fell hard onto the floor. Laughter filled the room until someone noticed the dark stain spreading across his pants. The noise died for half a second. Then it returned, louder than before. Mr. Calder scrambled to his feet and ran from the room, tripping again at the doorway. The bell rang soon after, but no one forgot what they had seen. That afternoon, 3 students were called to the principal's office. Mr. Calder sat in the corner, shoulders hunched, chalk still dusting his hair. His right hand trembled non-stop. The faint smell of urine hung in the air. The principal lectured them, warning of serious consequences. Mr. Calder never looked up. Logan stared at him with open contempt. When they left the office, Logan's anger hardened into something colder. Have you ever seen someone decide, right then and there, to make things worse? The plan formed quickly. Logan called Mr. Calder that night, pretending to be his father. He demanded a parent-teacher meeting at his home. Mr. Calder agreed immediately, grateful for the chance to fix things. That alone should have been a warning. The house was empty that evening. Logan's parents were out of town. In the basement, near the fuse box, everything felt tense and wrong. The air was thick with excitement and fear mixed together. When the doorbell rang upstairs, footsteps followed. A lamp crashed to the floor on purpose. The lights went out. Mr. Calder followed Logan down into the basement, believing he was helping. Corn syrup soaked the front of Logan's shirt to look like blood. A rubber clown mask was pulled tight over Ethan's face. A butcher knife glinted in the dark. Logan staggered into the living room, crying out for help. Mr. Calder rushed toward him, panic written across his face. Then the masked figure stepped forward, knife raised high. Mr. Calder collapsed against the wall, sobbing, shaking so badly his knees buckled. Urine streamed down his pant leg and pooled on the floor. His breathing came in short, broken gasps. Logan shouted for a picture to be taken. It didn't happen. The camera slipped, hit the floor, and shattered. The mask was removed. The knife lowered. "It's just a prank," Ethan said. Mr. Calder didn't answer. He stood slowly, gripping the wall for balance. His face was empty, drained of color and hope. He walked out the front door without a word, taking the clown mask with him. Would you ever forget a night like that? Mr. Calder never returned to the school. Days passed. Weeks passed. A new substitute arrived. Life moved on. Or at least it seemed like it did. Years went by. One of the boys lost everything after a violent crash. Another ended his life after tragedy piled on tragedy. Rumors spread about curses, hexes, and revenge. Most people laughed it off. Bad choices and bad luck were easier explanations. Then, decades later, on a lonely country road, a man sat alone in a dive bar booth. His suit was the same color. His posture was the same. His right hand still trembled. A cigarette shook between his fingers as the wind fought his lighter. Someone nearby offered a flame. He accepted it with a soft, familiar stutter. When asked about teaching, his body went still. When an apology came, he whispered thanks. He never made eye contact. As the night went on, the wind carried a cigarette butt down the road. The man followed it into the darkness, limping slightly, hand shaking at his waist. Watching him disappear raised a quiet question that refused to fade. Was it guilt, coincidence, or something else entirely that followed everyone involved? Maybe some actions echo longer than expected. Maybe some people carry pieces of the past without ever letting go. And maybe the scariest part isn't revenge at all, but realizing how easily cruelty can grow, and how long its shadow can last. What would you have done differently, knowing how it all ended? If this story lingered in your thoughts, that's probably a good sign. You can let us know by leaving a like. It helps these quiet stories find the people who stay to the end. If you want more nights like this, you can subscribe and keep the light on a little longer. And if someone you know would feel this the same way you did, share it with them. Some stories don't end when the video does.